Hi everybody, welcome back to Starfield, and in this beginner's guide tutorial I'm going to get you started with building a nice simple outpost. However, before we get started, what I'd like you to do is in the link below, in the description below this video, there's a link to this Starfield resource calculator that's just come out, which is very handy. And in the description as well I'll put a parts list of things that you want to make your first very simple base. And so what you do is you can pick the parts you build over on the left, and that will then create a shopping list of resources that you will need, so that before you go in and start building your outpost, you're going to have enough stuff. And this stops you having to go backwards and forwards all the time, going back to different traders or going to worlds and hunting for resources and stuff like that, because you've already got your shopping list. Now, at the moment though, this resource calculator isn't complete because, as far as I can tell, the components don't appear, and with some of the more complicated things that you build, they need to have things like zero wire or frames or different stuff that you need that aren't just simple resources. They're actually manufactured components. But we are going to be building an industrial workbench which helps us to do that. Also, in this particular case I've gone for an iron extractor. You will choose the extractor that you want for the type of base you want, because this is a kind of an extraction base we're building to create resources. Now, the most common resources you'll want to start off with, you want outposts that can create iron, aluminium, nickel, and probably helium-3 if you want the generators to run off helium and not run off solar power or wind power. So what I've done already is I've hunted around, and we're in the Tau Ceti system, and I'm after somewhere that can give me nickel. And so, as you can see, if you look in the bottom left hand corner, this moon Hawley, has nickel on it as a resource. I've scanned it, and I've just landed somewhere and I've found somewhere that has nickel. Now, bear in mind though, even though it might well say nickel all here, sometimes you won't be able to find any within the landing zone you're in that's close to your ship, so you may want to try somewhere else. So I know there's some nickel around here. I think it's down here, so I can just put my scanner on. Cobalt. I think, where is it? It's somewhere down here. But what we'll do, it's actually easier to find some... Oh, there's a ship down there. Oh yeah, look at that. We'll have to go and investigate that later, won't we? What we're going to do is we're going to establish our outpost first. What normally you would do is run around, make sure that the resource you're after is where you are, and then you pop down your outpost. So if you look in the bottom left hand side of the screen, it says Outpost 5. So I can press X, and that means I can place 5 more outposts. And all I do is I just put this beacon down. Then I'm going to press B just to come out of it, and we're in, just so we can look around. So this thing kind of anchors your outpost to this geographic location. And if you press the button with the 2 little squares on your controller, you can then zoom around, and at the edge of it you've got like this circle that goes around, so you can build within this circle. And although this is an outpost that's designed to make stuff to give you resources, there's nothing wrong with building one, somewhere nice by the coast that's like a base. So maybe you'd have lots of workbenches there, so you can use it as somewhere you go to craft stuff. So now we've got that. What we're going to do now is I'm going to press B to go into build mode, and we want our nickel extractor. And it's saying, look, you've got to put this somewhere where there is some nickel. Now, I believe there is some nickel around here somewhere. Where was it? Bear with. Make sure we stay inside the building area. I'm sure it was down here actually. Aha! There it is. There's the different colour. Now, are we inside the circle? We are. So, let's plonk that down there. So that can now start doing stuff if it has power. So we need to give it some power next. Now, if you look in the top left-hand corner, it says operating cost, power is 5. So I'm going to press RB to go to here. Now, what we got? We've got a wind turbine or a solar array. So we're going to need 2 solar arrays, aren't we, to power this? So we're going to put one down there, and we're going to put one down there. Now, they work wirelessly, the energy things, and they will try and power what's near them. You can add lines later on if you want to, if you need them to power specific things. So now we've got enough power. We've got 8 power in our base. If you look in the bottom right corner, it says total power 8. We need 5. But what I want to do now is I want to put something in for storage. So we're going to put in a transfer container. Now, the beauty of a transfer container is that it has an automatic link to your ship when you land, so that you can manage the inventory of what you're making from your ship. You know, when you go to the ship's inventory, so we're going to put that down there. Now we can only make, I think you can only have one anyway at each base. Now what we're going to do now is we're just going to press B to go into modify mode, and you can see it says create output link. So what we want to do is we want to create an output link from our extractor to our transfer container. So that means this will then output to here and start filling it up. Now what we want as well is we want somewhere for our people to live, don't we? So let's go press B, go back into build mode, and what we're going to do now is we're going to put down an Outpost Airlock. Let's put it down there. Ooh. We put one. Does it let us put one down? There we go. And then we'll put a Wall Hab on the back of it. And we just want the one. So we've got you need an airlock, and then we've got a hab, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to just change the. Ooh, press B. Let's come out of B mode just build mode, just to see what we've done. So here's our nice little hab here. Lovely, ready for our people, so we can send them there. And down here we have our. That's our transfer thing. So let's have a look, see if there's anything. Right, already there's 4 nickel inside of it. Woohoo! These are our solar arrays, and this is our extractor, which will be pumping. Look at that. How cool is that? And that is pumping stuff into here. And if we went into the ship and I looked into my ship's inventory, into the hold, and I pressed, I think it's LB, I would then have access to the inventory of that transfer container. Now, as things get more complicated, there are ways of crafting special containers that enable you to transfer things between planets as well, which is pretty cool. So let's go inside our little hab area, because at the moment we're not going to get anybody here because we need to add something else. So put the scanner on, and we're just going to press X for outpost, and we're going to put in a, where is it? It's near the end. We're going to put in a crew station. There we go. And without a crew station, your people won't appear. But we're just going to rotate that a little bit. We'll put it there. So we'll put one crew station in there, which is cool. And what we will also do is we will put in an Industrial Workbench, because you can use Industrial Workbench to make components to make other things. So let's put that in there. Okay, so let's come out of hold B to come out of build mode. So now you see we have our crew station, our Industrial Workbench. So if I go up to this, for example, if you look down the bottom, we can see we can build things like adaptive frames, attentic manifolds. Now, the other stuff, remember, you're going to have to increase your skills in order to be able to make certain things. And your best bet is to have a look at the skill tree, have a look at the things that relate to outposts and base building, and then you can make them better. So let's just go outside again. And what we'll do now is we're going to rename this. So let's go over here. If we go up to our little outpost thing here, we can now press X to rename, and we're going to call it Holy Nickel. So I know what's coming from here. It's nickel, isn't it? Yeah. So when I look at the star map, and also if I put different outposts on this planet, I'll know that this place is making nickel. Now what we can do as well now is, if we go to our crew with Y, we can look down and see who have we got unassigned. So Andrea at the moment is unassigned. So I could take her and I could say, well, I tell you what, you can come and work here. So she's going to work here. Also, I mean, she's probably not the best person, to be honest. But if you look at their perks, their skills to the right, they may well have things that are to do with having better outposts. So, for example, Hella, who's at my Zamkar Iron outpost, is good at outpost engineering, which means I can build more stuff. Lynn, who is at my Kodos outpost on Cheyenne, which I think makes aluminium. I haven't changed that one yet. She's good at outpost management, which means I can have more people there. Let's see. Have we got anybody else unassigned? Sam is unassigned, so let's send him out here as well. And they don't appear straight away, but I think on like a restart you'll find they'll appear and they'll start wandering around and doing various stuff. I always like, actually, put the scanner on. Let's go into outpost. Let's go into build mode. Let's have a look. Scan boosters are good for moving around. Landing ship small. Oh yeah, this is good. So if you put a landing ship small down, what this will then enable you to do is land right on your outpost. So tell you what, let's go into toggle the view. I always think you'd have the landing pad up to the edge, wouldn't you? So if there was a problem with the ship, it wouldn't matter. So let's put that there. So we've put a landing post down. Press B. I like to have one of the little robots wandering around if I can as well. Should we put a simple fabricator down? Oh no, I need a little bit more tungsten, so we can't do that. A sanitation bot. Let's put him down. So there he goes, and he goes wandering around. Now, the other thing that you'll probably notice is everything's a little bit sterile at the moment. And this is where things start really getting fun. Ooh, let's come out of build mode. So if we go inside our little hab unit, and you know, we could make this bigger, we could add more units to it. Why haven't we got your spacesuit? So let's go into here, press the scanner, press X to go into build mode again. And what you can do now is... there's all this decorations that you can put down to make everything a little bit more homely. Beds, dartboards, a street to drive, utility cart, hand carts, trash cans. There's loads of stuff, so you can really build your outpost to look homely and friendly and a cool place for your followers to hang around and work, because that's what they're doing for you where they're here. Or maybe it's a home base where just you just go to chill out and do some research and do some crafting and things like that. I know it's what should we put down? A potted plant. Here we go. So intersects with existing objects. Actually, that's a bit crap. A hanging plant. There we go. Look at that. A hanging plant in the corner of our hab. How cool is that? So, there we go. Hopefully that's a nice start to getting you building an outpost. It really is a rabbit hole. And once you do it, you'll start to look at your skills and start looking at things like outpost management and leadership and things like that. And you'll be like, oh, right, okay. I think I want to invest some skill points in that sort of stuff because I want to build all these more advanced things that can make me other things. And what you'll find is, once you've got an outpost, and for example this one, this will make more nickel than I can ever use. So you can always use that and go and sell it, obviously back at a Trade Federation kiosk. And also what I would suggest as well is if you come across some rare things that you need for crafting, and then you come across a planet that's got those things, rare things can be worth quite a lot of money. So put an outpost there, start mining that, and you'll be in the credits sort of thing. But I love this part of Starfield. Now, just to kind of show you to finish off, if we go in here now, so if I go into my ship.
Well, that was fun. Now what?
And then go to my inventory for my cargo here. And I press X to transfer. So if I press LB, you should be able to see, there we go. So that's Hawley nickel. So that is the transfer container. They're the resources that it contains. So it's got 15 nickel now. And so I can transfer stuff from here, from the Hawley nickel, into the cargo space of my ship in order to then take it somewhere else to sell it or to use it at another resource, another outpost or something like that. You can also use, I should have mentioned as well, can we see it from here? You can also use your transfer container to store things, but it's only got a limited amount of storage. So when it fills up, then your extractor, we'll keep going for a little bit because your extractor has a little bit of internal storage, but then it'll kind of stop working, and you need to come back and get rid of the stuff to help it go. Okay, so hopefully this has been useful. If it has been, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I'll see you again.